This anime is exactly like Stranger Things. I easily binged all 24 episodes in 2 days. Weird occurrences happen on an island with a select amount of people. Something is off, and apparently people are seeing themselves. This show was mind-blowing. The first thing I have to say is that the pacing ran at the speed of light. I can't even imagine watching summertime rendering on a weekly basis. I would have died from anticipation. You know how Stranger Things drops the whole season all at once so that you have to watch it in one weekend to keep up with everyone? Well, that's the exact same premise I feel like in this anime. The story is so closely tied together that there's no lag in between episodes. Episode 1's ending is just as important as episode 23's. It was so easy to continue because there was just no good stopping point. The scenes just ramped up in intensity every time you thought it would slow down. From now on, this video will contain heavy spoilers as I discuss the aspects that I loved and hated about summertime rendering. If you have not seen the show, I suggest you watch it first and then come back to this video. I thought all the characters were extremely likable. Hizuru was my favorite, considering she was incredibly stunning and also an absolute beast with that sledgehammer. Talk about one of the coolest characters in anime. Shinpei was basically Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, except not an evil person. He had tons of cool moments, like when he revealed that he was wearing a bulletproof vest, and obviously killing the big bad in the end. Mio, on the other hand, was given tons of background information and characterization in the beginning, but they kind of left her out entirely as soon as Ushio's shadow started to help them out. I thought that Mio and Shinpei were going to end up together. I guess it's a more traditional conclusion for him and Ushio to get together. I thought that Tokiko's weird but redemptive arc was satisfying, considering that she was just as much a pawn as anyone else in the story. Bruh, can we talk about her dad straight up murking her with zero hesitation? That man stole So's gun and blickied her. How did Tokiko forgive him? I would have clearly been unable to give him any chance at redemption. I can honestly say that there wasn't any character that I hated. The storyline for Haine actually being under Shide's control made a lot of sense, and I'm glad she got her little happy ending by being reborn as Ryunosuke's daughter. I'm not sure how that works, but whatever. I thought the author handled everyone with care, and no one really got left out of the writing process, which is extremely rare. So the plot was a little plagiaristic, but it was a completely original take on shadow people. Sure, it may be a trope in horror and science fiction, but I think the actual story of summertime rendering was so different that it didn't really bother me that it used a specific trope. The fight scenes had some great choreography, especially whenever the sledgehammer was involved, but the main focus was, of course, figuring out how to defeat the main villain. My two favorite scenes in this entire anime were when they lit Haine and Shide on fire in the gym. That was freaking sick. And when Hizuru fought Shide, she said, "No, we aren't running away. We'll finish this." That was a legendary moment. Even though she was a side character, she stole the show, but Shinpei was still a solid main character. I'm not disregarding that. There was so much crazy stuff going on. Shadow people seemed so hard to kill at first, but then kind of easy, but then hard to kill, but then easy again. It got confusing in parts where new powers were just revealed to you without giving the audience enough time to soak that information into their brain. Shinpei has this eye that can see parallel worlds. Okay, simple enough. But apparently Haine can loop too. Even Shide didn't guess that she could do that, but none of the powers really annoy me that much. I thought they all made sense within the realm that the author created. It was just absolutely wild that people were getting demolished. Even in the 5th episode, the entire town was swallowed up by the shadows until Shinpei looped back. Mio's head got squished like a rotten fruit, and So took an axe through the head. The violent nature of this show was off the charts, almost equivalent to Attack on Titan, just not as disturbingly unnerving. But despite that perturbed feeling, I still enjoyed this action-packed anime. Oh yeah, and shadow people are basically aliens, right? I mean, Haine came from outer space as an organism, so she is quite literally an extraterrestrial. God, what a bewildering piece of fiction. This show was way different than I could ever fathom, but it delivered a very well-paced plot and convincing story along with characters that you just had to root for. Everything wrapped up quite nicely, and I was simply impressed with this fascinating journey. It's hard to scale this anime because it isn't a shonen where you get tons of time spent with the characters, but all of that quality time that you get is very enjoyable. It's also not episodic like Cowboy Bebop. The best way to describe described summertime rendering is it's a spectacle. If the anime community was aware of this show, unfortunately it got a bad release by Disney Plus, then we all could have reacted and enjoyed it together. I personally missed out on that because I just found out about this anime in 2023, and a lot of people missed out on this entire phenomenon that was summertime rendering. It's engrossing, shocking, confusing, but ultimately satisfying. Say what you will, I like the sappy ending where everyone is happy and no one that we knew actually died. Overall, I will say that it's definitely worth the binge, and so it deserves some kind of score like 8.3 out of 10. It's captivating and strange enough to make me binge, but IDK, it's not like it's in my top 5 anime of all time. Very well done show, very well produced, the scores, the soundtrack, all fantastic. It's great, a great show to tell your friends to watch if they want something that will 100% grab their attention. What did you guys think about this show? Is it one of your favorites, or did you not like a certain aspect? It was a very strange anime, but I guess that's why my comparison to Stranger Things is so apt. As always, this is the Eagle-Eyed Samurai, signing off.